The Minnesota State Fair has come to a close. Fairgoers are now just left with the memories of the fun they had and their photographs and souvenirs. The end of the Great Minnesota Get-Together also means it's time to check in on the results of the House's annual opinion poll. We asked fairgoers what they thought on a number of hot topic issues, from background checks at gun shows to legalizing medical marijuana and raising the minimum wage. Let's look at the minimum wage question first.
But I know a lot of business owners that have entry-level jobs, and that's basically what you pay an entry-level job. The minimum wage, that's what it was set out for.
The minimum wage is currently set at $6.15 per hour in Minnesota. That's actually below the federal level of $7.25. Those that oppose raising the minimum wage say it could mean fewer entry-level jobs, fewer hours for employees, and increased cost for consumers, while proponents say higher wages would mean low-wage workers would spend more money and help the economy. The medical marijuana question on this year's poll is based on Representative Carly Moline's bill, House File 1818, that would allow doctors to prescribe medical marijuana to seriously ill people if they believe the drug would help treat the patient's condition and reduce their suffering.
Because I think if you can make people feel comfortable in the doctors prescribing it, why not? I mean, there's a lot of people that are in a lot of pain, and if that's the way we can help them, then I think you should have that.
Advocates for medical marijuana emphasize the benefits to cancer patients and others, but opponents are concerned that such a law could make it easier for youth to get a hold of illegal drugs. There are strong opinions on both sides of the debate over background checks at gun shows as well.
Well, I think that we need background checks because, right now people with mental health issues can buy guns, and I think that's very wrong. I mean, we've got a lot of gun violence in this country, and I strongly believe in background checks and restrictions on gun ownership.
Supporters say the law will enhance gun safety, while others say it compromises the integrity of the Second Amendment. The House Public Safety, Finance, and Policy Committee had 3 straight days of gun-related testimony during the 2013 legislative session, yet legislators did not reach an agreement. Speaking of legislators, have you ever wondered how much a state legislator is paid to serve? They currently earn $31,140 every year and are eligible for additional per diem and other expense reimbursement. The Constitution allows legislators to set their own compensation. We wanted to know if poll takers thought an independent, citizens-only council should be created to set salaries for legislators. This question will also be on the 2016 ballot as a proposed constitutional amendment. People traveled all across Minnesota to get to the state fair. Perhaps you were one of those out-of-towners. And if so, you may have noticed some transportation infrastructure needs, but would you be willing to pay an additional 5 cents more per gallon of gas to make those improvements?
If they build infrastructure with it, and to me, infrastructure is not light rail. And we have mass transit, but we're not building any roads, and we need to build roads and bridges.
Our opinion poll asked that question. The gas tax would help to fund the backlog of highway and bridge needs around the state. Currently, Minnesota's total gas tax is 28.5 cents per gallon, making the state the 18th in the country. Another transportation issue looked at if local governments should be permitted to use intersection cameras to prosecute drivers who run red lights.
That just vaguely seems illegal, or it seems like some sort of invasive in a way.
The question is based on a bill sponsored by Representative Alice Hausman that would require technology that photographs both the driver and the license plate. Supporters of red light cameras say it would serve as a useful deterrent to speeding and help prevent vehicle deaths and injuries. Opponents, on the other hand, have concerns, including privacy issues and costs. Moving from the roads and into the classrooms, included in this year's Omnibus K-12 education law is a replacement of state graduation exams and a new set of tests in reading, writing, and math on which students do not have to achieve a minimum score in order to graduate. Proponents say the revamped testing system will help monitor the progress our schools and students are making and give benchmarks that project whether students are on track to graduate, pursue a career, or get into college. Others, however, believe that traditional tests help set an academic bar of excellence for students to achieve and provide accountability. At the Minnesota House of Representatives booth, you are not only encouraged to take our poll, but also to meet and greet with representatives. These representatives surely had an invested interest in our poll question that asked if Minnesotans should have the option to vote in person at a specified polling place up to 2 weeks before the general election.
I like it when people actually have to vote on election day. That way the campaigns can be run all the way through to the end, and there isn't the option of just saying, well, I'm going to vote early so it doesn't matter.
Representative Connie Bernardi sponsors House File 334 that would allow voters to cast their ballot during every primary, general, or special election for federal, state, or county offices beginning 15 days prior to Election Day through 5 p.m. on the third day prior to the election. The bill was awaiting floor action when session ended. Did you know there are no uniform state laws regulating dog and cat breeding? We asked poll takers if they think there should be regulations that would include state licensing of breeders, inspection procedures, and standards of care.
I just think it just be better for the animals. Maybe, hey, we have a lot of dogs in this area. Maybe you shouldn't breed so much because there are dogs that are just abandoned or not being taken care of by people.
The question comes from the so-called puppy mill bill that aims at making sure animals are not kept in inhumane conditions. Bill opponents say the regulations could violate the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution regarding search and seizure, and that the regulations are unnecessary and costly. Perhaps you've been there. You've got your heart set on going to a concert and are ready to pull out your credit card to order your ticket, only to find out that the concert sold out in a matter of minutes. We wanted to know if fairgoers thought consumers should know how many tickets are made available to the general public when a concert goes on sale. Those who don't want to disclose this information say it's not people's business. Moreover, representatives from the Target Center and Xcel Energy Center said some performers would just not come to Minnesota if the disclosure were required. In hopes of keeping Asian carp out of Minnesota waters, the poll also asked if electric fish barriers should be created in the Mississippi, Minnesota, and St. Croix rivers.
I put yes, because if we don't keep the carp out of our waters, it's going to be disaster. So anything they can do to stop it.
Asian carp are regarded as highly invasive species in the U.S., capable of causing economic, ecological, or human health harm. Proponents note the invasive fish could threaten the environment, fishing, and Minnesota's tourist industry. But electric barriers may not be a sure stopgap approach to dealing with the invasive species. Officials say while the barriers will considerably slow the spread of the fish, they may not stop them completely. Although there are no bills based on the last question of our opinion poll, it's certainly one Mom would care about.
Being the mother of 2 children, I have a stake in the in the question, but no, it doesn't really matter.
We asked if the state's fishing opener, which traditionally falls on the same weekend as Mother's Day, should be moved up 1 week. The state fair has come to a close, but we have likely not seen the last of these issues. We thank you for participating in our poll. Will any of these issues be addressed in the 2014 legislative session? We will have to wait and see. But for now, the results of the 2013 opinion poll are ones for the record books.